August 18, 1920, Congress ratified the 19th Amendment giving American women the right to vote. It was the result of generations of work by women suffragists around the country. Two prominent suffragists were from Talbot County. Just last year, a historical marker honoring these women was erected in Easton. We're shining a spotlight on it in today's Marker Monday. Mary Bartlett Dixon spent her lifetime fighting for women.
She was quite the activist, and she was a wonderful writer. We always talk about Mary.
Dixon's story is part of an exhibit at the Talbot Historical Society. It was put together to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, a celebration that didn't happen because of the pandemic.
Of course, we wanted to do that, but it just didn't work to get people together.
Dixon, along with Easton native Mary Jenkins, led Talbot County's historic Just Franchise League from 1909 to 1919.
Mary Jenkins was one of the first ones to get involved with it, and she was at the state level with the Women's Justice League, and she actually was about 10 years ahead of Mary Bartlett Dixon.
Dixon organized porch and parlor meetings, pamphleteering, marches, and petition drives throughout the state. These ladies weren't beyond getting creative with how they spread the word about their cause.
And when they went out to Cumberland and the western area, they had pamphlets and leaflets, and they always had programs for all of their events. And consequently, that it made them remember names. And also during that time, they had recipes, and it would be a recipe, but inside it was all about the vote. So it's kind of sneaky that they got that into their leaflets.
Dixon was also part of a group of suffragists who met with President Woodrow Wilson. The meeting was unsuccessful, so the group picketed at the White House, leading to their arrest.
I can't imagine how brave you had to be to go and picket at the White House, and they were arrested and taken to a prison in Occoquan, Virginia, and she somehow was bailed out and didn't have to stay as long as some of the other people, but there were reports that went back to President Wilson that they had force-fed these women because they said, we weren't going to eat if you're going to imprison us for just wanting the vote. So it was a very, very tense time from 1913 to the 1920 when they finally got the vote.
In the end, the women got their way, prompting huge celebrations all around the country, including downtown Easton.
We do have this picture that is a parade that's right down Washington Street, and you'll notice that right up in the corner, the Just Franchise League signs. So their organization was front and center in Talbot County, and their ladies looking out the window, so they were there to celebrate with everybody.
The Votes for Women marker stands in front of the home that once belonged to Mary Jenkins.
She lived in that house all her life. She was single. She was very committed to her church and being someone who was going to help get the vote.
The marker was erected as part of a bigger movement around the country led by the Pomeroy Foundation.
They decided that they wanted to have 200 markers honoring suffragettes and suffrage activities across the United States. And we applied and got one, so we were really, really pleased. And we just had it installed in October of 2022. Had to wait for that too because of the pandemic.
Built in 1783, the house is believed to be one of the oldest frame houses in Easton and serves as a museum. And because of the sign, it will also serve as a reminder of the sacrifices made to ensure women had a voice in the voting booth. And Mary Bartlett Dixon married and settled down in Easton. She and her husband established the first hospital there.